evening and welcome to this episode of Solutions of Success. Tonight's show is very exciting as we are talking about the topic that every high school teenager, parent, guardian worries about the most. College. How to get to college. What does it take? How much will it cost? Is it for me? Which program of study? And the people with the answers with me tonight are Dr. Ginger Mathis, who is the Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Stuart Phillips, who is the Vice President of Student Affairs. Both are from Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Thanks for joining me tonight.
We're happy
Glad to be here.
All right, are you ready for these tough questions? We have a really tough panel tonight. Coming to us from LFO High School, a senior, that would be Mr. Alex Anderson.
Hi.
Joining us from Oakwood Christian Academy is Alexandra Green.
Hi.
And also from LFO High School is Mr. Jonathan Anderson.
Hi.
These guys have volunteered to be here. Honestly, I did not have to twist their arm much. And they're going to find out all about entering college from high school. Also, studio audience and audience at home. You can call in on the numbers you see at the bottom of your screen and ask pertinent questions of all the panelists here tonight. So let's get started. Dr. Mathis, tell us exactly what do you do at Georgia Northwestern?
Okay, I'm the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, and I work with 3 different campuses, well, 2 and a new campus that we're building. The Walker campus, the Whitfield Murray campus in Dalton, and also the new Catoosa campus.
That one is so exciting. I was there at the groundbreaking for the Catoosa campus, and that is going to be a phenomenal site. You also shared with us before sort of a mock-up what it was going to look like,
Right.
and it's going to be an amazing building.
It really is. It's going to be a great thing for the citizens of Catoosa County, and I think it's going to be beautiful as well, but we've got a number of new academic programs that we're excited about.
Great. I hear there's going to be great restaurants at the foot of that hill.
That's right.
And that's always important when you're a college student to have those
Right.
good fast food restaurants. And some of the programs that you're going to offer there are specialized programs for industry.
That's right. We have in the industrial area mechatronics, industrial systems, electronics. In the business area, we have logistics, computer information systems, management. We also have in the student services area, public services area, paramedic and early childhood, in addition to the healthcare assistant and healthcare science and technical communications. We're very excited about those.
Very eclectic offerings.
That's right.
So between all of your campuses, this makes 5?
This will be 6.
6 total campuses. There's something for everyone. Anything you want to study. Now, are these campuses just limited to younger people?
Well, no. We have students from 16 to, I've had students that are retired that come back to school. As a matter of fact, there's a opportunity for retired students to come to school for free, I believe, Stuart. Isn't that right?
Free?
Students that are 62 or older attend tuition free.
Tuition free, 62 or older. Okay, so it's not too late. Mom, this means you can go back to school. I'm all for it. Stuart, thank you for joining us. And
Thanks for
what
having me.
exactly do you do at Georgia Northwestern?
My responsibility covers those things that are non-academic or non-classroom related. Things such as admissions, financial aid, placement testing, our student activities, counseling services, the registrar's office where we issue transcripts. So I like to tell people that we help students in student affairs. We help students get into the college. We take care of you while you're here, and then we help you get out of the college by helping you graduate and walk across the stage.
Well, and that's the most important goal that they have is walking across that stage
That's right.
successfully. And you're the guy also with financial aid.
That's right.
Very important topic that we're going to deal with tonight, financial aid. Because I know when I speak with kids, they're always, I can't afford. How can I afford to go to school? And my report is, how can you afford not to
That's
go to
right.
school? So let's look at our panelists tonight. What kind of questions do you have for the Georgia Northwestern staff here this evening?
I have a question about like local scholarships because I know that it's harder to get like the bigger scholarships that everyone could have a chance in getting, but the local scholarships, it's easier, I've heard. But how can I find those so I could apply for them?
Okay, let me address, I'll address a couple things about that question. At our particular college, the vast majority of our students utilize the HOPE program, whether it's the HOPE grant or the HOPE scholarship. In addition to that, they also utilize the Pell Grant. Pell Grant is the federal financial aid that most of our high schools push their students to apply for. You may have even heard of the FAFSA that you fill out while you're in high school. It's that free application for federal student aid. And if your family qualifies, then you could receive some additional money to help pay for your college. And our tuition at Georgia Northwestern is so relatively cheap that with the Pell Grants and the HOPE Grants, most of our students don't need any outside scholarships. So we have a few outside scholarships that our students apply for. A lot of them are through their local high school. The Georgia Northwestern Foundation has scholarships that we provide in all of our area high schools as well. So the cost of attendance is so low for our school, we don't spend a whole lot of our resources trying to find a vast array of local scholarships for our students to apply for because it's built into our system. That's different in other colleges, say a private college where the tuition is a little higher. There's only so much discounting that a private college can do for their tuition, so they will encourage you to apply for all types of local scholarships. So I don't know if I really answered your question, but that's how it applies at our college. Of course, there's an infinite amount of resources on the internet. Call the local financial aid office at any of our area colleges, and each one will have different resources that you could utilize.
Okay, and what is the minimum GPA requirement for the HOPE scholarship?
For the HOPE scholarship, it's, I believe it's 3.0 coming out of high school.
Okay.
Now, for a HOPE grant, there is no minimum, and the HOPE grant is something that not as many people are familiar with as they are the HOPE scholarship. Here at the Technical College System of Georgia, which there's a whole system of colleges in Georgia that's part of the Technical College System, we offer associate degrees, diplomas, and then certificates. Well, those diplomas and certificates are eligible for the HOPE grant. And so there's no GPA requirement coming out of high school to receive the HOPE grant. That's one of the reasons why so many people utilize it. Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's take a look at Dr. Mathis. I'll try not to slip up and call you Ginger.
That'll be fine.
Mechatronics, what is that?
It's cool. It is. So many of the manufacturers and many other types of companies have individuals that can make everything work. They can. They have mechanical skills, electrical skills, electronic skills. They have skills in networking, pneumatics, hydraulics, PLCs, which are those programmable controllers that the robots use. And in manufacturing, that's what drives the assembly lines or the different machinery. You know, so much now is automated in our manufacturing facilities, and the computers work together very, you know, they synchronize all the different actions. And the person that knows how to make changes and repairs and keep those systems running, very valuable.
I bet. My mind is just whirring right here. I'm thinking Shaw, Volkswagen. Have these big companies been in touch with you, talking about what they need for upcoming positions and careers?
Absolutely. You know, business and industry really drives our curriculum. We look at what business and industry needs, where do they need help with their workforce, and then we design programs based on that. And the reason the mechatronics program is there is because business and industry ask for it. And many times we've had so many of the larger companies in the area give us money for equipment or give us equipment or help us fund our labs. And we have advisory committees. And that's where people from business and industry help us with our curriculum. Because, you know, in just about every field, over a year or two, things change. And so part of being at a technical college is making sure that we are teaching things that are current. And we change our curriculum as things change and as business and industry suggests. So it is one of the wonderful things about the technical college system is that we're able to adapt and customize programs of study that meets the local need.
That's wonderful. It's great to know that our local college, right here, just a few minutes drive from anywhere in Northwest Georgia, keeps up with all the changes going on in business and manufacturing so that we keep our young people trained and ready to go whenever they graduate. Do you have a really high placement rate for your students?
We do. Very high placement.
I don't know the number though. It's 87,
It's
88,
up in the high
something
80s,
like that.
low 90s consistently.
Wow. High 80s, low 90s. That's a pretty big percentage rate of placement right out of college, because so many times people graduate from college and they can't find a job. So it's great to know right here in our own backyard, Georgia Northwestern really serves that purpose.
That's right.
Let's go back over to our teenagers for this evening. And Alex, I'm going to pick on you first. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an engineer right now. I don't know. I have two pathways that I'm looking at, engineer or in the medical field, but I'm aiming towards more to the engineering field because currently I work with TVA. They have a internship at LFO. Currently I'm enrolled with it. I've been with it for like about a year now, and I've learned a lot, so it's
Great.
good.
So it's
hopefully
been
I can continue that in college.
excellent. So you've had some on-the-job training that has been provided for you
Yes.
at LFO High School, a local high school here. So you're advancing not only academically, but also with on-the-job training, preparing for your future career. Do you feel like with this on-the-job training that you've been able to take advantage of, you're more prepared to go into the world
Yes,
of work?
I do believe that I have the upper hand on engineering in general because usually kids don't get the opportunity that I do with LFO, with the TVA partnership that they have. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Green, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I'd like to major in middle grades education, and I'd like to become a teacher.
Oh,
After
you're
my
another
own
teacher. we both are loving this. Another teacher. This is great.
Yes.
Middle grades education. Any specific academic area?
Not really. I love everything.
Love everything.
I love
Oh,
literature, so yeah.
an English teacher. Yay. Okay. Well, I know why we like this girl now.
That's right.
So
That's
much.
right.
English teacher. Great. So when you leave Oakwood Christian Academy, I understand that you have been enrolled, sort of a dual enrollment. Tell us about that.
Yes, when I graduate from my high school, Oakwood Christian Academy, I will leave Oakwood with probably about 32 credit hours for college, and so I will basically be going into college as a sophomore. So
A sophomore.
it'll be nice. I would like to take college slow, and I'm going to still probably go for all 4 years, but it'll just be a lot easier.
Excellent. So you really feel like this dual enrollment program has prepared you
It has.
for being more mature and more ready to go. I don't know how many times I spoke with parents of high school students who said, you know, I sent my student off to that big university somewhere, and that first year all I got was $10,000 in debt and 1 credit in basket weaving because the student just wasn't really ready to go. But what Alexandra is telling us is by being in dual enrollment, she's maturing and she's getting ready to go. Now, Georgia Northwestern has a great dual enrollment program.
We do.
Stuart, tell us about it.
Sure. Matter of fact, I'll put a little plug in. We're #1 in the state currently for dual enrollment, have been for a couple of years now. We've got a great high school initiatives team that works very hard in our area high schools, I believe, or in our 9-county service area. We've got about 31 high schools that we serve. And so that's 31 different sets of administration, 31 different sets of students that we have to work with. But our high school initiatives team does a great job, led by Ms. Carol Abrams. This spring semester, we've got over 900 students dually enrolled throughout our high school service area.
Wow,
And
that's a
I
lot.
want to tell you a little bit about how that's set up. We have some traditional dual enrollment where the high school students are leaving their high school and they're coming to one of our campuses, one of our 5 campuses. We have more students taking dual enrollment classes like Alexandria at their high school. We have our teachers going to the high schools and teaching their students on the high school schedule. Works out much better for the high school system. It's much more streamlined, and it's been a huge success. That's one of the reasons why we have so many, because it's really just exploded across our area. And we're teaching some of the traditional occupational classes, but we are teaching a lot more of the courses like Alexandria's taking. She's not taking from our college, but we're teaching some of the similar courses like your freshman English, college algebra, psychology, those classes that are going to transfer to any of our programs, but also will transfer to any of the programs in the university system of Georgia and some of our surrounding colleges in this southeast area.
That's great. That's great for parents because they know that their children are safe there in the high school. And it's great for teenagers because they're getting a leg up on college and going in. Now, is there a cost for this when a student is enrolled in high school and taking a college course as well?
Well, there's always a cost. It's just a matter of who's paying the cost, right? When the student is in high school, our president has chosen to waive the fees. It's about $260 worth of fees that the high school students are not having to pay, plus the additional tuition that the Hope Grant does not cover. So what we're doing with the students is having them apply for the Hope Grant funding or the Excel funding. There's two different funding streams depending on which particular classes the student's taking, and that covers the complete costs for the students. And we're currently have some money to be able to provide the books for the high school students as well. So that's been a blessing for these students not to really have any out-of-pocket costs, and a blessing for the parents as well.
Wow. So it's a great incentive for parents to encourage their students to study every night, prepare, and take as many collegiate classes while they're in high school before they graduate. Oh, guess who's next? Alex, what are you going to do when you grow up? What do you want to be?
Well, I want to go into maybe the physics field, and under that, I want to maybe astronomy. But at the same time, my backup is majoring something in programming, because I know that's an evolving field, and the pay is pretty high too. But one thing, I haven't been able to really prepare for that, because I don't know the resources that I have. But I'm enrolled in AP and honors classes, so I hope that helps.
Good deal. Does taking AP honors classes help a student when facing enrollment in college, university?
I think it's an advantage in that you see the level and pace of the collegiate courses, either the AP or dual enrollment. One of the wonderful things about dual enrollment as opposed to AP, and both tracks are great, they're wonderful, but dual enrollment, you know that at least in the Georgia colleges, all those classes will transfer. One of the problems with AP is you take an AP test at the end of it, and many of the schools will only take 4s and 5s, so students may may take the test and make it 3, but yet that doesn't transfer to the school, depending on the school, the college that they choose. But if it's a dual enrollment course that they're taking, when they pass that course, they receive high school credit, they receive college credit, and that college credit, if it's in one of the general education areas, can be transferred to any college in the state of Georgia.
Wow, another plus for being in the state of Georgia going to school. Georgia schools really seem to excel in preparing students to go on into careers and occupations. Oh, well, it's time. Zach, let's pay some bills, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about going to college.
We're on the air 24/7, a North Georgia taste of heaven, a fun place to be. And we're your family, UCTV.
Dr. Carl F. Peterson Jr. has been practicing dentistry in the Rossville area for over 30 years. He and his professional staff will gently take care of all of your general, orthodontic, and cosmetic dentistry needs. Dr. Peterson is a participating provider with most insurance companies as well as HealthSpring and Medicaid, and will gladly file your insurance. He will be greeted by his friendly staff who take pride in making sure your visit is a pleasant experience. Call and schedule your smile makeover, and don't forget to mention seeing this ad on Solutions of Success to receive a 20% discount on your visit.
At Accelerated Workflow Solutions, we provide software and training in the field of voice recognition to help make computers more accessible for both medical professionals and people with disabilities. Call us at 706-375-3007. We are the Dragon People. We are Accelerated Workflow Solutions.
Uh-oh, Dad's gonna be mad.
If you find yourself in need of an attorney, call the law offices of Robert L. Stoltz. From auto crashes to forming a corporation, attorney Robert L. Stoltz can help you through some of life's ups and downs. Call him at 858-0023 or visit his offices at 376 Cloud Springs Road, Fort Oglethorpe.
Welcome back to SOS on our college preparation night. Joining me again is Dr. Ginger Mathis and Stuart Phillips, and of course our board of teenagers who are eagerly chomping at the bit to ask more questions regarding their academics. Who's next?
Well, I would like to ask, it's not really on the topic of college, I guess, but college and high school are just like totally different. And so I just, I feel like a lot of high schoolers, they don't really know how to study. And then when they get to college, it's like a totally new world to them. So what are some like good studying techniques, I guess? How can we learn how to study? I don't really know. Just to be able to be prepared for college in the future.
Great question.
That is a great question. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I know I was in the classroom for a number of years. I taught computer classes. And as an instructor, I'll tell you some of the things that I saw where students struggled a little bit. One of the things was when they're preparing for assessments, tests or whatever, you know, in high school, typically you're reminded a lot. Don't forget tomorrow, or don't forget next week, or have you been reading your book, and all that sort of thing. In college, the first day in many classes, you'll get you'll receive the syllabus, and it'll have due dates and that sort of thing. And that's the time when you need to get organized. Get your calendar out, put the due dates on your calendar. You know, many of the topics you'll have to read the textbook and then, you know, go back and make notes. And then after that, go back and make sure you understand the notes and you understand the material. Because one of the opportunities you have is if you stay on top of the subject matter, then you're prepared to ask the professor or faculty member a question about, you know, the parts you didn't understand, as opposed to, you know, hearing a lecture one day or seeing a video one day and having homework that night and realizing you didn't get it. So it always helps if you can stay ahead of the lecture or the classroom work, because it'll just give you a leg up on, you know, the next time. The other thing is just developing discipline. And, you know, that's something I still struggle with today, is developing discipline. And it's so easy to say, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that this weekend. I'll do that. And then when you get to, you know, the weekend, maybe there's lots of things to do. I had some really good advice when I went to college that said, treat college like a full-time job. Your 40-hour-a-week job. So you go to classes, come home, do your homework, and then you can play. You can have the weekend to play and the evenings to play, but get that work done first. Because if you don't, you'll be worrying about it, or, you know, you won't prepare enough time. And many times, if you're in the middle of projects or papers or whatever, stuff happens. You just won't find the resources you think you'll find as readily. You won't understand a topic, or you'll have computer problems, or something. So it always helps to be prepared.
Definitely. And the procrastination thing is the root of the evil. Putting off, when your teacher assigns a paper, your literature teacher says, oh, that paper is due in 1 month. And you have to start planning. This is where I have to be. This is where I have to be at this time, at this point, and make sure that you are there. Don't have it planned to where printing out that paper the night before, because inevitably Murphy steps in and the computer blows up. The printer's out of ink and Dad's going, it's 11 o'clock. Office Depot's not open. I can't get your ink. And teachers do expect the assignments done on time, especially, I know, collegiately. They expect you to be an adult and really prepare for those things. So that time management is essential to success.
Absolutely.
In high school, in college, and in work. Yeah, life. It definitely is mandatory. It is. Gentlemen.
I have one question. Where can students find the resources or information to apply for scholarships that they can apply for?
I can address part of that.
Okay.
Your local high school is a great resource for that. Your high school counselor can direct you toward some scholarship resources, not only nationally but locally as well. And then financial aid officers at colleges can, particularly if you're looking at a particular college in a specific region, contact that financial aid office and ask them what some of their local scholarship resources are. They should have some good information on their website as well.
Another point is for colleges that are a little more difficult to be admitted. Those colleges, they're often looking for things. Yes, you need strong academics. That's important. It's fundamental. But what else do you do? Do you have a life outside of academics? Do you volunteer? That looks great on an application. Do you have extracurricular activities? Are you a leader? If you can show leadership skills in any aspect of your life, if you taught a class at church, or if you were, some sort of leader in a club or that sort of thing, officer, worked, with the student leadership team, or any of those special things, because when you're looking at applications, particularly colleges that have thousands and thousands of people that apply, and maybe 1 for every, or 10 for every 100 get in. You need something that will set you apart. How are you different from other students that, in some schools that make the A's, and mostly A's, but maybe occasional B? How are you different from that? Well, wonderful grades is important, but having something special. Maybe you're a singer, or maybe you were first chair in the band, or maybe you were great at athletics, or whatever your niche is. Just find that niche and then learn how to make that come alive on the application.
Something outstanding about yourself. And knowing Jonathan and Alex's father, I grew up with him. He is a veteran. And I was very fortunate to be in a meeting just the other day with the local VFW and American Legion. They have scholarships, lots of scholarship money that's available. And sometimes it's just difficult getting kids to get in there and apply themselves to get these scholarships. The veterans organizations are really big with volunteers as well. The VFW was telling me that one of their missions is to build ramps for wheelchairs. And they'd love to have some young people come study with them, learn how to build these ramps. Great volunteer opportunity. You're helping veterans, you're helping someone in need, and you're helping build your resume to apply for college.
And it just is very rewarding.
It is.
Just for your own personal life and learning to help others has rewards of its own. That's a great idea. One of the things that I try to tell students that are in school, sometimes they want to go on to a four-year school. Many times your parents work for companies that also have scholarships. And all those that have seniors, that's sort of the pool that you choose from. But so many times larger companies, the students don't apply for those scholarships. So many scholarships go untaken because you didn't know about them. So really you just have to almost be a detective and try to find all the local. I know many Rotary groups and Kiwanis groups and local organizations in the area, many groups like teachers organizations and that sort of thing give scholarships to their members' children. So look at all sorts of things like that.
Callers, sorry, this evening apparently our phones are down again. Hopefully next week we'll have our phone system working. What you were saying, Ginger, about local organizations, you're right. And so many organizations can put you in touch with different scholarships. I know our 6th Cavalry here, they're really big working with individuals and with the school systems. And we have other opportunities within organizations, even at City Hall. There's opportunities to come volunteer, to be present at council meetings. And we try to partner with the high schools for those activities to further a youngster's civic knowledge. And that's something that helps to carry them forward into college and helps them to be prepared for opportunities to advance in different places. Stuart, a moment ago we talked about some of the other avenues. When a student wants to attend Georgia Northwestern, how does he or she go about that?
Okay. We are an open access institution, so that basically means once you complete the admissions application, you're going to get accepted as long as you meet the minimum test scores when you come to take our placement test. When a student walks in our front door or gives us a phone call and wants information about admissions, we have an admissions packet we give that student. On one side of the admissions packet has the admissions application, a little bit of information about a checklist on what steps need to be taken to get accepted to the college. And then on the other side of the application has the financial aid information, since well into the 90% range of our students utilize some sort of financial aid other than mom and dad's checkbook. So as far as getting into the college, we charge a $20 admissions fee, application fee.
Doable.
The student has to take a placement test. At our college, we offer the Compass test. Students may have already taken the ACT or SAT. If their scores are high enough, we'll accept those scores. And don't ask me what the score requirements are, because I don't know them right off the top of my head.
Okay.
But basically, you apply to the college, you pay the application fee, take a placement test, and then provide us with all your official transcripts from your high school, or if you're transferring from another college, provide us those official transcripts as well. And we'll ask you to complete an orientation, and then after that, you'll be accepted and then invited to register at the next registration period.
Well, you try to make it, you try to make it as painless as possible.
We do.
Now, let's say a student doesn't really know what he or she wants to be when they grow up. I still don't know exactly what I want to be when I grow up. I just think I don't want to grow up. That's what it is. So how do you help with that in your counseling facilities?
A couple of ways. In our testing centers, we have individuals that can help talk students through some of the programs of study that may best suit them. But we also have some computer programs that do some career assessments, that do an interest inventory along with an aptitude to find out, okay, here's what I'm interested in and here's what I have the aptitude to do. So they try to match those up to give you some good recommendations on fields of study that may be best suited for you. Now, it's not a magic 8-ball or anything like that, but it does help narrow the field down and give you a little bit more direction many times than you had before you walked in that door.
That's a great thing to have. I know Alex wants to go into engineering. My son Pedro wants to go into engineering. But engineering, you've got mechanical, structural, electrical. That's big areas. And when Pedro and I talk about it, we don't know exactly which pathway to follow. The great thing about college here, you can take all those academic needs and then declare a major when.
You know, one of the most important things about your first year in school is to find out what you're good at and what you love. Because, you know, we spend a lot of hours at work. And if it's something that you are particularly gifted at, and you have something that you're good at, things that you're good at, if you find those and they happen to be what you do for the rest of your life or, the next 10 years, it's a real blessing and it doesn't seem like work. So, think about where you excel. Maybe you are a good public speaker. Maybe you love literature. Think about that. And the other thing that I always recommend students do, if you think of an occupation and thought, that might be cool, go online and research it and research it and research it. Most every occupation, you can find websites about that occupation. You can see videos that said the normal work day if I had this job. The Department of Labor, the Georgia Department of Labor, and the U.S. Department of Labor both have websites that will highlight different careers. It'll tell you the starting salary and median salary and what type of preparation you need. Do you need an apprenticeship after high school? Do you need a graduate degree or a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree? All those things you can find out once you just, you might wake up one day and say, I loved that class. What happened to me in college is I looked at electrical engineering and also accounting. But I was in my accounting program, and by the way, it's okay to change your major. I was in my accounting program, and I took a computer class, and I loved it. It was fun to me, and I got it. So many things, literature wasn't my strength. But, computers and math, I liked that kind of thing. So you have to find your strengths and then try to find occupations or areas for your career in, using those strengths.
Yeah. I read just a couple weeks ago that 3 is the average change when a student enters college, university. They will change their major 3 times.
That's the average. That must be average. That's
Me too. Me too. Now, diploma, degree, certificate.
That's right.
What's the difference?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. At the technical college system at Georgia Northwestern in particular, when you come into school, there are lots and lots of programs to choose from. Many times students just aren't sure and they don't know how far they want to go in school. I've even had students come in and they're not even sure they need to be there. They don't feel confident enough. And if they don't feel, have a direct path, I always recommend that they start in a certificate, because the certificates feed into the diplomas, which feed into the degrees. So as soon as you see, hey, I can do this, and you graduate with that certificate, then you can choose a diploma, which is just really a long certificate, or an associate degree level program. And in that program, the general education courses like the English and math, they're a little bit higher level, but if you did take a diploma level, those have prepared you for this type of course. So I love the fact that at the technical colleges, no matter where you start, there's usually a way. We call them embedded certificates. This one is embedded inside of this one, and you can continue to grow. And if let's say one of the governor's strategic industries is welding. Let's say that you decide you want to be a welder. You can begin in a certificate and then move forward. And, as you find out more about your occupation, how far you need to go, maybe there's a certain company you want to work for and they require a certain certification, then you can pursue that. But one of the other things you learn in college is what you don't like. And it's okay to take a course and not like it. I think I did many times. But you find out where your strengths are. Some things you just get, it just comes to you naturally. And some things are really challenging. Me, chemistry, physics, those were really challenging for me. Sounds like you guys think they're a breeze, and I totally think that's cool. But, we're all different, so you have to find your strengths.
Amen to that. Now, you mentioned the governor. There are 8 different programs that right now the governor is giving a full ride to.
Right.
Encouraging students to become involved in these 8 programs of study, because they are basically they are needed. There's
You're
not
in demand.
enough.
That's right.
What are those programs?
In the industrial area, there's industrial systems, welding is one of those programs, machine tool. In the public services area, early childhood, and in the business area, there's health information technology, truck driving, practical nursing. So I think that's all eight.
That's a wide spectrum
It
of
really
areas that are in demand right now.
And our legislators and the governor showed a lot of wisdom by looking at the workforce in the state of Georgia and say, where are our needs? Where do we need more people in what particular fields? Well, then we ought to make it easier financially for our students to succeed in those areas. And, it's just such a blessing to have legislators and support from the government, state government, to help citizens move on and, build better lives.
I was fortunate enough to go to Atlanta and hear Governor Deal and Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle speak the other day, and they are intending to add 4 more programs of study to that already expansive list. So the state of Georgia is really, really active in making sure that we are preparing a workforce for the future in our state.
Absolutely.
And with the widening of the harbor in Savannah, and preparation for all the traffic that will bring in through our state.
Right.
I think we're going to be ready with all the young people we're preparing to take those positions.
Well, and in the coming years, I think maybe the stats by 2020, 65% of the population will need some training beyond high school to have a job. And right now the percentage is much lower than that. So first, number one, most important thing, graduate from high school. Stay in school, graduate. And then when you do, find a program. It may not be a graduate program. It may not be a 4-year program. It may be a shorter certificate. It may be an apprenticeship with a company. Find out your niche and exactly what's necessary in that career area.
Amen. Well, when we come back from this commercial break, our panelists are going to tell us exactly how many years they've already been preparing to go to college. Stay tuned.
We're on the air 24/7, a North Georgia taste of heaven, a fun place to be. And we're your family, UCTV.
Dr. Carl F. Peterson Jr. has been practicing dentistry in the Rossville area for over 30 years. He and his professional staff will gently take care of all of your general, orthodontic, and cosmetic dentistry needs. Dr. Peterson is a participating provider with most insurance companies as well as HealthSpring and Medicaid and will gladly file your insurance. He will be greeted by his friendly staff who take pride in making sure your visit is a pleasant experience. Call and schedule your smile makeover, and don't forget to mention seeing this ad on Solutions of Success to receive a 20% discount on your visit.
At Accelerated Workflow Solutions, we provide software and training in the field of voice recognition to help make computers more accessible for both medical professionals and people with disabilities. Call us at 706-375-3007. We are the Dragon People. We are Accelerated Workflow Solutions.
Uh-oh, Dad's going to be mad.
If you find yourself in need of an attorney, call the law offices of Robert L. Stoltz. From auto crashes to forming a corporation, attorney Robert L. Stoltz can help you through some of life's ups and downs. Call him at 858-0023 or visit his offices at 376 Cloud Springs Road, Fort Oglethorpe.
welcome back to SOS, those teenage solutions of success to help your teen become the best he or she can be. Now we're going to join our panel who are going to tell us how they've been preparing to go to college or are still preparing. Alex?
Well, throughout school, they prepare you for college. Your teachers will tell you their experience with college. Just going to school prepares you to college, so I recommend going to school because it's important. If you don't have that foundation, then you will probably struggle through your first year in college. But
yeah, being there every day is important.
Very important.
And companies look at if you've got a lot of absenteeism, tardies, they look at that as well and frown upon it. And you can't get everything your teachers want you to learn if you're not there.
Very true. Yeah, and see, there's almost all of my teachers support everyone. Like, they tell us that we can do everything we want to do, and you know that's true. It's just that some, you know, don't have that extra push from their parents. But I mean, teachers, I mean, they're there, you know, like they help a lot. So thank you for, you know, being there for kids who don't have that chance to, you know, have, you know what I mean, like. Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I don't have that problem, but I've seen some kids who just need that extra push from their parents because most of them will join, you know, JROTC and stuff because they just don't know what to do. And that's what I've noticed, you know. But like every time I'll ask a kid who's in JROTC, what do you really want to do? He says he doesn't know. So I don't know. I feel like there should be some more, I don't know, some more work into finding what a person or a kid wants to do, a student, because, you know, after high school, some of them are just lost. They don't know what to do after that, so, and they'll think of taking a year off, and then it ends up being a year off again, and they just don't go to college.
That procrastination factor, again, that we talked about earlier. Alexandra?
I guess I started preparing for college, seriously preparing, I guess the 8th grade. I got a list of all the colleges that I would think about going to, and it was probably about 5 or 6. And each year, I guess I kind of narrowed it down. But then the closer that college came, the more I had to practice on my athletics, and I had to get serious with that and preparing for that. And that was a big challenge because it took a lot of discipline, and then you had school on top of that, so more practices, and each time you got, every year you got older, that'd be more homework and more academics, and so having to balance everything out, I think that's going to help me prepare for college, taking 3 college classes this semester, and then I just signed a golf scholarship, so I'm going to have to practice more and more for golf, but being able to balance out the practices and then all of the extracurricular activities that I do at school and participate in that, and then the college classes and my high school classes, having to balance those have just really prepared me for college. Oakwood has done a fabulous job with just helping me in that area, and I believe that I will go into college confident and prepared because I won't have to worry about not being able to balance a schedule when I'm already balancing a schedule now. So that has helped me a lot. So.
Well, it seems like you're a very well-rounded young lady, I have to admit. You've got academics, athletics. I want to hear from you in the future, everything you accomplish. Jonathan, tell us about, you're a sophomore. You're a couple years behind the other two, so you've still got some time. How are you preparing?
Well, first I want to tackle the AP classes. That'll help me to prepare for college, because I know it's like a college environment, or like the work is, you know. And another thing is tackling the ACT and the PSAT and SAT, and those are important. But other than that, I've looked at colleges online, seeing what I should do, and one problem is I need to prepare like for overseas colleges because I don't know if we're going to be moving or staying here.
So you've really got to work and prepare for where you're going to be,
Yeah.
when you're going to finish, and it sounds like you've got a plan, a good game plan ready to go.
Kind of, yeah.
Of course, I know that about both of you. I've known you for a little while, so it's great. Now we go to that segment of our show when we feature one talented teen from our area, and I was so fortunate to meet this young lady at the new Walmart Neighborhood Market grand opening. When she was singing there, the whole crowd was just in awe. So join me, please, in welcoming Miss Haley Fowler as she sings Midnight Cry.
I hear the sound of a mighty rushing wind, and it's closer now than it's ever been. I can almost hear the trumpet shall rise to meet him in the air. Then those that remain will be quickly changed at the midnight cry. Jesus comes again. I look around me, I see prophecies fulfilling and signs of the times. They're appearing everywhere. I can almost hear the Father as He says, "Son, go get your children." At the midnight cry, the bride of Christ will rise. When Jesus steps out on a cloud to call His children, the dead in Christ shall rise to meet Him in the air. And then those that remain will be quickly changed at the midnight cry. When Jesus comes again. And then those that remain will be quickly changed
Wow.
That was beautiful.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Haley Fowler from Ridgeland High School. What a blessing. What a blessing, and a way to close the show. I'd like to thank my guest again, Dr. Ginger Mathis, Stuart Phillips from Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Also, and I'll get it right this time, Alex Anderson, Alexander Green, and Jonathan Anderson from LFO High School and Oakwood Christian Academy. Be sure to tune in next week, folks, when I will have Sheriff Steve Wilson joining me for Drug Awareness. It'll be an important show for everyone to watch. God bless America, and as always, it's a great day when you're in Northwest Georgia.
Are you building, remodeling, or has an appliance quit working? Do you dread going to the big box stores because there's no one who can really help you? Then you need to go to 2A Appliance in Fort Oglethorpe, where Lamar can answer all your questions about appliances made by Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, JennAir, KitchenAid, and Frigidaire. And Lamar will... Are you building, remodeling, or has